I am a very healthy person. I don't have any sicknesses, you know. And for something like this to happen to me, I just couldn't believe it, you know.
Charlie Daylight has had the fright of his life.
Well, Charlie's in a difficult situation because he's a professional truck driver and he has reduced vision due to cataracts.
But if I can't drive a truck, what am I going to do? Who wants me? I'm 60-year-old.
Fortunately for this Ipswich truckie, his cataracts will soon be removed. But eye specialists argue that from November, many people in a similar situation may miss out on vital surgery because of the federal government's budget cutbacks.
The services, particularly in rural and regional and Indigenous, will come to a halt. There's no two ways about it.
Really, it's the ophthalmologists who need to be asked, are they prepared to sacrifice a small amount of their profits and continue to provide services that are needed in the community?
A cataract is a clouding of the lens, which usually develops with ageing and can result in blindness. 20 years ago, cataract removal involved stitches and at least a night in hospital, but not anymore.
The revolution that has occurred in the way we do this procedure is quite extraordinary.
Vice President of the Royal College of Australian and New Zealand Ophthalmologists, Dr Bill Glasson, says advances in microsurgery over the past 2 decades has made the operation faster and safer.
It's probably one of the most successful operations that any surgeon does, full stop.
That's quite a big claim.
No, absolutely, and I think the patients will verify that.
There are nearly 200,000 of these operations performed every year. For an average surgeon, this contributes about half of the $500,000 a year they receive in Medicare payments.
We think that they have been very well remunerated for a procedure which has increasingly become quicker and simpler.
This budget is forged in the fire of the most challenging global economic conditions since the Great Depression.
In the last federal budget, the Rudd government announced plans to cut the scheduled fee for cataract surgery by 50%.
I think the community is starting to understand that if they want the government to continue to pay for new medicines and new technologies, we have to also be able to reap the benefits of new medicines and new technologies. And sometimes that means savings, even although the professionals involved will never like, and we understand, will never like a cut to their income.
Yeah, well, I think the federal government haven't done any research, haven't certainly consulted us, haven't really consulted us in the sense of what is the impact of this decision going to be on downstream services.
Dr Glasson argues that although the new technology is undoubtedly faster, it's considerably more expensive and still requires a high level of expertise. So the halving of the fee, and with it the Medicare rebate, means patients will have to fork out at least an extra $300. Doctors argue this will put more pressure on already stressed public hospitals and will also bring to a halt bulk billing services to people from rural, remote and outer metropolitan areas.
There are a lot of people there that are good Aussies that are struggling to meet particularly the current financial crisis, to meet their financial commitments, and this is just another impost on the good old Australian.
How's the driving going?
Oh, steady, you know, off and on. Bit busy.
Brisbane-based eye specialist Dr Luke Maccarin has a room in Ipswich where he sees patients like Charlie Daylight.
He said that I needed an operation pretty urgently, you know, and then he told me how much it's going to cost. And I said, oh, brother, I can't afford that, you know. I said, I can't, you know, because I just come from a marriage breakup and I just ain't got no money. And the money that I am making, I'm just sort of living from day to day.
The public hospital system was no good for Charlie Daylight, as he was told the waiting list was several years. But there was another option.
Well, we're putting some charitable funding together for Charlie because he can't afford to access the service himself.
So in effect, doctors will be bulk billing him?
That's right.
Once the Medicare rebate is halved, that makes it a lot more difficult?
It will make it impossible.
I don't think that it is an argument not to have this changed.
Health Minister Nicola Roxon argues outreach and charity work makes up less than 2% of procedures. She says she's prepared to talk to eye specialists about special cases, but is adamant the cut to the general rate will go ahead.
We believe it can still be done on the new rate that's being proposed and provide a very good income to ophthalmologists, and we hope that they will see the sense in doing that.
Why can't surgeons absorb some of these costs by lowering their fees?
Listen, we have I can I tell you that the cataract rebate has been reduced by 70%, 70% since 1987, I think it was. So we have absorbed those costs.
Whatever the merits of either case, community groups say the consumer is likely to lose out.
Whilst the eye surgeons and the government continue to bang heads the way they are at the moment, the only person who's getting the headache is older Australians. It's so important that government and the doctors get together and provide a solution on the issue.
Right, Mr. Mark, the operation's finished. You're very...
Eye specialists are arguing the only solution is a moratorium on a fee cut due to take effect from November.
What I'm saying to the government, you're hurting the people at least can afford to be hurt. And I just think this is a poorly thought out decision.
The Health Minister argues ophthalmologists should take a small cut to their profits and move on.
If they're receiving more than $500,000 a year from Medicare alone, that's more than most of the grandmas that they pretend they're representing would ever have earned. And really, we think taxpayers should be entitled to get good value for money out of the Medicare system.